Okay, good morning, everybody. I hope you've had a lovely weekend. A little bit chilly outside and there's a bit of ice here or there. Hopefully you're all safe and well. Our English lessons for this week will follow the pattern that you're used to in the classroom. So Mondays will always be grammar and sentences or sentence structuring. And then Tuesday through Friday will be linked to our class book. Now we will be starting a new class book from tomorrow. And we'll probably leave that till tomorrow to talk about, to be honest. So today we're going to be starting with a bit of grammar. Okay. And what we're going to think about, I've noticed in your writing over the last term or so, since I've been with most of you, certainly the children in my class, even those of you that are really good writers, do sometimes, when you're writing, you put a or an in front of the noun, and sometimes you get it a little bit muddled. Sometimes you're not sure which is the right one to use. So I thought we would spend a bit of time looking at that this morning and trying to put that right, and hopefully then in your writing you'll be able to get that correct from now on. This morning we're going to be using Reuben the raccoon. He is there to help us this morning, and what I thought we need to just be clear on, and the key piece of information, the key piece of learning you need for this, is that you need to know the difference between a vowel and a consonant. Okay, so they're all letters of the alphabet. Both vowels and consonants are letters of the alphabet, and every single letter is either a vowel or a consonant. Now you can see up here the vowels I've written out for you. They're A, E, I, O, and U. They are the most commonly used letters in our alphabet, and there's only 5 of them. Okay, so the best way of remembering the differences between vowel and consonant is just learn your vowels. As long as you know those, then you know that every other letter must be a consonant. So for example, T is a consonant because it's not a vowel. P is a consonant because it's not a vowel. So you get the idea. Now this morning, Reuben's saying to us, what do you notice about these phrases? And I've put some words up on the board there. You've got a mystery, an animal, an egg, a man, a mouse, a pencil, an umbrella, a typewriter, and an oven. What we want you to look at is look at the word in front of those nouns. They're all either a or an. And what I want you to do is to just work out why. Why is it an A? Why is it an an? Think back to what we've just talked about, vowels and consonants, and see if you can see a pattern. I'm going to ask you to press pause while you're looking and press play when you're ready to hear me talk about the answers. So press pause now. Okay, welcome back. I hope you had an interesting few minutes trying to work out why it's either a or an in front of a word. Now what Reuben has done here, he's underlined the initial letter of every word. So you can see the first letter is underlined on every single word here. Now we talked just now about vowels and consonants. And what I think is really important here is that if you look, for example, M is a consonant because it's not a vowel. It has A in front of it, a mystery. Whereas animal here it's a vowel because it's A, but in front of that vowel is an. The same could be said for egg. It has E sound at the front, a vowel sound, it's an. So if I was to pull this down here, Reuben's going to tell us that we have A in front of a word when the word starts with a consonant, and an when the word starts with a vowel. Okay, little go on your own here. There are some nouns that have been placed on the screen there. And what Reuben's asking us is, can you decide for me whether a or an would go in front of them? Remember to look at the first letter or the first sound. If it's a vowel sound, then you put an in front of it. If it's consonant, you put a. Have a little go. You might want to write this down on a little bit of paper. There's no need to put it into your book. But if you wanted to write them down, you're more than welcome. Press pause while you're having a look and press play when you're ready to hear me talk about the answers. Okay, welcome back. Now, these are the answers here. So we've got a dog, consonant, perfect. A yellow, so a yellow banana, for example. Again, it's a consonant, so you'd have A in front of it. A phone, brilliant. The first sound, P there, gives you A. An igloo, perfect, because it has a vowel sound at the beginning. A computer. An apple, so again, the vowel sound. An ultimate, okay, an ultimate holiday, an ultimate toy. So the best it could be, again, has a vowel sound. Now, all of these are following the rule, apart from this one here. Now, I don't know whether any of you would have struggled with this one at all, because it says an hour. It is an hour till lunch. And I wonder how many of you might have put A in front of there, because it's a consonant. Don't forget, I've talked about vowel sounds and consonant sounds. Okay, this H is a silent letter. You can't hear it. You don't say there are 24 hours in a day. You say hours, don't you? So if the sound is a vowel sound, then you still put an in front of it. That one's a bit of a trick question, to be honest, but the rest of them work. Okay, for the second independent task this morning, what I want you to do, I've got on there, look at your classroom. Some of you are at home, obviously, so you can have a look around the home, have a look around the kitchen, or wherever it is you're doing your home learning. And what I want you to do in your books is to write down as many objects as you can in a minute, and then in front of them, tell me whether they should have a or an. Now, I do want you to take a picture of this and send it in to me, just so I can have a little look and see how we're doing. Okay, so you've got 1 minute from now. I'm going to ask you to press pause. When you're ready to come back to me, press play. So press pause now. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you've managed to find a few objects around your home or your classroom. Like I say, don't forget, submit them if you want to show me them, along with the sentences that you write for the second part of this morning's lesson. Okay, we're going to move on now. Our main lesson objective or learning objective this morning is to be able to use what we call 3 ED sentences in our writing. We're going to think about the new Alan Peat sentence that we're going to look at this term. Now, if we think about last term, the Alan Peat sentence we used was last word, first word, if you remember. Okay, Mr. Nugent was tired because he'd been looking at a computer screen all week. Okay, so you've got that Alan Peat sentence in the bank, and lots of you use that in your writing all the time. Okay, we're going to be thinking about a new sentence this morning. And what I want you to do, first of all, I want you to press pause in a moment while you look at the sentence that's on the board here, on the screen here. Barney burst into the classroom. And I want you to think, while you've got your video on pause, what do you notice about this sentence? What type of sentence is it? How could we make it more interesting? So press pause now and then come back when you're ready to talk to, when you're ready to listen to me, not talk to me. Sorry. Press pause. Okay, so first thing I would have noticed about this sentence is that it's what we call a simple sentence. It is a main clause, but it's a main clause on its own. There is no subordinate clause, there's no relative clause, there's no frontal adverbial. It is a main clause that makes sense just on its own, but it's a bit dull and boring. Okay, now you could be talking to me about, you could have said we might put in a couple of adjectives here, Mr. Nugent, because that would make it an expanded noun phrase, for example. So you could have Barney burst into the bright, colourful classroom. Okay, you might have said, if you were feeling really clever and you're thinking about to relative clauses, you might have said Barney, who was a member of year 6, burst into the bright, colourful classroom. So there are lots of things, lots of ways to make that sentence more interesting, and you've become very good at doing that this year. But this morning, what we're going to do is we're going to think about something a little bit different. And we're going to add what I would call 3 ED words to the beginning of the sentence to make it more interesting, So here you can see, if I reveal the sentence, I've still got my main clause, Barney burst into the classroom. And then in front of it then, I've put 3 ED words, excited, energized, and thrilled. All of them have to be demarcated with a comma. But that makes this sentence a lot more exciting and a lot more interesting. Excuse me. And when I'm marking your work, I would be so happy to see this, because it would really, really, it would make me realize that actually you're really, really getting good at using different types of sentences. So, there is a rule with these words, though. Okay, well, there are two rules actually. All the words must link in some way. So we can't have, up here we've got excited, energized, thrilled. They're all the same sort of family of words. I wouldn't have up here excited, energized, tired. Barney burst into the classroom, because they just don't fit together. Those three words must fit. And also, they've got to fit with the second part of the sentence. So, for example, Barney here has burst into the classroom. He's gone straight in, really, 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 in a confident, happy way. What you wouldn't have here is tired, fatigued. Barney burst into the classroom, because both sides of the sentence then won't agree with each other. So you've got to make sure that A, the words are linked, and B, that they fit or match the sentence. As I just mentioned here, I actually prepared this slide and not realised, but tired, exhausted, weakened, Barney burst into the classroom. This is what I'm talking about. They're brilliant ED words, but they don't quite fit with the second part of the sentence. So that's what we're talking about, why they wouldn't be a good fit. Okay, for our main independent task this morning, and I will want you to write these into your books, I want you to think about how you could add 3 ED words to the beginning of these sentences. Okay, so we've got here, the man collapsed into bed. The dog played with his new ball. The tiger stalked its prey. The cat rolled on its new cushion. The racing car flew around the track. So, could you have a little think? And it might take you longer than you think, because you've got to come up with 3 ED words to go at the beginning of each sentence. And you've got to make sure that it fits with that sentence really nicely. If you get finished, or you feel really confident, could you have a go at writing 3 sentences of your own that have 3 ED words at the beginning? And if you're feeling super confident, could you add adjectives to the nouns to create expanded noun phrases? So there's a little bit extra there for those of you that are confident writers and get to the end really quickly. But the rest of you, if you're not 100% sure, just have a go at focusing on those 3 ED words. If you're in school, you can talk with a partner about them. If you're at home, maybe there's an adult you can talk to, or an older brother or sister, but you're looking for ED words. I would love to see these sentences, or the sentences that you've had a go at. So if you can, that'd be brilliant if you could take a picture of them and send them in to me, and I can give you some feedback, especially if there's anything you're struggling with. Other than that, you've got probably the rest of this lesson, you've probably got about 20 to 25 minutes to do this. When you're finished, then that is the end of the lesson for today. And I'll see you first thing bright and early, ready for tomorrow, with the start of our new book, which I'm really excited about. And I know you will be too. The children last year loved this story. So if you loved Edward Tulane Before Christmas, you're going to really enjoy Varjet Paul. Take care then. Bye-bye.